Hello YouTube, Arrow Assassin here today, and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be doing a video on the favorite specs and least favorite specs. A few people have suggested this idea to me, and they would like to see what I don't like and what I do like. So I figured, why the heck not? It seems like a good idea. I've seen other YouTubers do it as well. I guess people want to get different perspectives on it. So keep in mind, this is my opinion. I know some people who post in my comment section that they like a certain spec that even I don't like. So, or maybe you just want to see play a spec that I like and you might like yourself. So I don't know. Either way, you guys get the point. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. So I'll be going over different tiers. The first tier is the ones I love the most. I love playing them all the time and pretty much what I love to play. So, and then the second one is where I play it, but I don't really care as much as like all 24/7 like I do on the first tier. And then the final tier is I just honestly don't like them at all, and some of them I actually refuse to even play just because I hate them that much. That's just me though. So yeah, that's pretty much the tiers. Let's go ahead and dive right into the first one. So first class is Druid. I'm honestly a fan of all the specs. I like them all. So obviously some specs are some classes I'm not like that, but for Druid specifically, I have always liked all the specs. I like Guardian because of the Werebear, Hulk Bear, whatever you want to call it. Hulk Bear is pretty much the main reason why I like Guardian. That's pretty much the sole reason why I like Guardian. I'm going to be 100% honest. Like, the forms are just pretty much the main reason why I like Guardian. Resto Druid, my least favorite, but also I do enjoy it, if that makes any sense. I don't play it as often. I'm not a healer person, but it doesn't mean I don't like it. So I do kind of like Resto. It is kind of fun. And that's the whole reason why I just like Resto, because it's got mobility and stuff. So, Feral. I like Feral. It's a little bit harder to play in my opinion, and it's just mobility-wise, it's got bleeds, which counter rogues a little bit. So that's the reason why I like Feral, is because of the bleeds. That way it counters rogues. They have decent self-healing. I just like self-healing classes. That way you can survive a little bit better. And that's pretty much why I like Feral, mostly just because of the bleeds to counter rogues, because I hate rogues, so. They can't vanish when they have bleeds on them. Well, they can, but they'll come right back out. And finally is Boomkin. I've been a Boomkin main for a while now, and they just got good utility. I like them, and I'm a Battleground person, so being a Battleground person, a caster, in my opinion, is really good for Battlegrounds. I know people may have disagreements on that, but I'm a Battleground person. Boomkin shine pretty well in Battlegrounds, and I've just always been Boomkin person because of that reason. The utility, disarm, thorns to make people kill themselves, decent self-healing. They have Moonkin aura to give people critical strike. Just overall, yeah, it's pretty much the same reason why I like Boomkin. So I try to keep it as brief as possible because I don't want to ramble too long, because this is probably going to be a long video simply due to the fact that there's so many specs in this game. But with that, let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, up next is Hunter. And for this one, I like two specs. Beast Mastery. The reason why I like this, I know a lot of people hate Beast Mastery in this game for a lot of reasons, but I am going what I like. And the reason why I like Beast Mastery is simply due to the fact because of the pets. I'm 100% honest. I love Beast Mastery pets. If Survival could use pets like Spirit Beast or a T-Rex or something like that, I would probably enjoy those a lot more. But the reason why I enjoy these is just because of the pets. They look cool, they have neat abilities, mostly just because of the looks. So that's the reason why I like Beast Mastery. That's pretty much all there is to it. I mean, I know people are expecting probably a better reason, but I don't lie. I straight up just tell the reason why I like Beastmaster Hunter. It's just solely due to the fact of the pets. Survival. The reason why I like Survival is it's an interesting kind of melee spec. It's very different. I like the fact that you can get in and out whenever you feel like it. You can play it ranged if you want to. It's not like, obviously, it's a mixture of ranged and melee, and that's the reason why I like it. If you want to hang in the back and just use ranged abilities, you can do that with Poison Sting, bombs, kill commands. You can even use your aspect of the Eagle and use your melee ability at range. So In my opinion, it's one of my favorite specs. Simply due to the fact of that reason, you could just do whatever you feel like. You could be in and out, easy and out, easy, simple stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty much the reason why they're in my top tier right now. And with that, let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, up next is Demon Hunter. So this is pretty much on my list simply due to the fact that they're a lot of fun to play. I loved it in Legion, and I still love it in BFA. I'm like a huge jumper, everybody knows this from my videos. I jump a lot, so jumping and doing gliding and stuff, it just is a lot of fun to me. And I'm a huge fan of mobility classes, so that's the reason why I also like this class, is because mobility, you can just fell rush, you can get the areas you can't reach, not obviously strictly to PvP, but you can do it in PvE as well. Just overall, jumping and gliding is pretty much the main reason why I like this class. Of course, there's a bunch of other things that are cool too. They have pretty much a lot of different utilities and stuff, like shortening their cooldown, being casters being able to damage themselves, rain from above to get out of melee. But yeah, the two main reasons I just enjoy Demon Hunter is the double jump and the glide. That's just pretty much all there is to it. So that's the reason why I enjoy this class a lot. Oh, and the mobility, of course. But, yeah. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, guys. Up next is a Fire Mage. Don't need to really say much about this. You guys know how much I say I like Fire Mage in my videos. The reason why I enjoy Fire Mage is simply due to the fact of a few reasons. The burst is pretty awesome, and the fact that Greater Power Blast is probably in the game. I know a lot of people are hating on Greater Power Blast right now, but I like this spell due to the fact that using it on healers and tanks and rogues probably is my favorite thing to do. It really is. Healers are annoying enough to go up against, so having Greater Power Blast to use on people and remove some of their health just is so satisfying, because they can't just, it's hard for them to keep it up. So that's the reason why I do that. I also love the Greater Power Blast Meteor combo. Everybody's going off about Fire Mage right now, so I'm expecting nerfs eventually soon. I foresee it coming. It's gonna happen. Apparently, people are calling Fire Mages the BM Hunters of Mages. I mean, at this point, it's really people are just I don't know. People are just people. People call everything the BM Hunters of something, or the Assassination Rogues, BMs. I don't even know anymore. Like, people are just talking about stuff. But anyways, this is not a complaining video. But this is the video what you guys want to see on what specs I like and don't like. So yeah, Fire Mage, pretty much the whole main reason why I am enjoying Fire Mage at the moment is Greater Power Blasting healers, tanks, and rogues, of course. So it's just super satisfying. Yeah. So I believe that is it for the top tier, guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the middle tier and go from there. Alright, guys, up first is Paladin, Ret Paladin. For this one, I semi-enjoy Ret Paladin and also semi-not enjoy Ret Paladin, because for a few reasons. Like I said, this is a tier where I do like playing it, but also don't like playing it. So, I enjoy playing it. They've got some really good self-healing. They're kind of like a really good also solo type of class. So, since I'm mostly a solo player, and what I do is usually do stuff by myself, I feel like this class is really good to me, and it really has been. So, the reason why it is because they got really good DPS, burst, and self-healing. Those are three things I actually really like. The only reason why they're not really on the top tier is because of the mobility. Like I said in my previous specs one, and the other ones, is I'm a huge fan of mobility classes, and Ret is definitely not a mobility class. Everybody knows this. So if they had really good mobility, I'd obviously put them at the top, but you can't have everything. So that's the reason why they obviously don't have the mobility. But yeah. So that's pretty much my reasons why I put this in the middle. I don't hate the class, but I don't absolutely love it like I do with my Druid and all the other ones. But yeah, it is pretty fun to play, and I still would recommend it to anybody regardless, because it is pretty fun for the most part. And it's the reason why Ret's on this list. Prop Paladin is kind of on the list as well for the same main reasons. I haven't really played it that much. I don't really mind it. But, yeah, I just don't really have like much to say about Pro because I don't really play it as much. So I'm probably not going to add this to any of the list. Like I said, I don't mind playing it, but I just don't know much about it. Holy, I don't really play at all. Same for Prot, so I'm just not going to add those to the list because, yeah, I don't really play them. So I figured I'd talk about those two as well. So let's go ahead and move on to the next class. Alright guys, up next is DK. So, Frost is something I've always liked. I've always liked in previous expansions. Frost has always been fun to me, so I'm putting that in the middle. I don't really enjoy it as much in BFA, but due to the past expansion packs, I'm putting it in the middle because I semi still like it, but also semi don't like it. So it's really tough. I couldn't figure out where to put this, so I just decided putting it in the middle is probably the best option because there's only top, middle, and bottom. So I don't hate the spec. I've never hated the spec. In fact, I've always liked it. But I feel like Legion's version of BFA Frost DK, I mean, Legion's version of Frost DK was always better. Some people may disagree with me on that, but I think Frost DK was better in Legion, and Frost DK isn't really that... Actually, DK in general, I don't think is really that great in the spot right now. But it's still pretty fun to play for the most part. I don't play Blood, so I can't speak for Blood. So, like, I just don't really play it, so... I'm not going to add it to the list, same for like I did with Prot Pod and Holy Belly. Unholy... I'm not really an Unholy DK fan. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't really care for Unholy, but I don't hate the spec. So, it's higher than Frost for me. I love Frost 100% way more than Unholy by far. But I'm just going to put Unholy in the middle anyways because I don't personally hate the spec and I've played it before. But, yeah, Frost, in my opinion, way more fun than Unholy for me. Some people prefer Unholy more so than Frost, but, again, I'm a different person. You guys asked for my opinion. That's just my opinion. And that's my take on DK right now. Moving on to the next one. Alright guys, up next is Monk. And we're talking about specifically for Windwalker. I do like the spec, but I also am kind of like don't like this spec at the same time. It feels different. Legion... I feel like Legion has gotten a lot more specs, a little bit better than BFA. Some specs are really a lot better in BFA than Legion, but yeah, this is just one of those cases where I think Legion Windwalker was better than BFA Windwalker. So kind of the same as Frost DK for me. So, comparing the two, Frost DK was better in Legion than BFA, and Windwalker was better in Legion and BFA, in my opinion. Simply due to the fact that Windwalkers are like DK at the moment. I don't think they're in the best spot. They're not bad, but I wouldn't say they're really not that great either. So, that's the reason why this is in the middle. I feel like the pruning for their Fist of Fury stun was not really a very good idea. And having their full damage in Touch of Karma and Touch of Death, not really good design, in my opinion. I don't necessarily agree with that. Sure, it's fun to watch Touch of Death pretty much annihilate somebody in his health and like... Yay, but it's a 2-minute cooldown, and it's long, and just having all your damage into one ability, not that fun. It's not that fun. So that's the reason why this is in the middle. I don't really hate the spec, but I just feel like they got the design wrong. It's still semi-okay, fun to play, but hopefully they'll do some more fixing for Monk. So that's my opinion on Monk right now, and let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, up next is Destruction Warlock and Affliction Warlock. I forgot to add this into the top tier. I do like Destruction a lot, so this is pretty much in my top tier. I can't believe I forgot to add it, but I did. So, I'm adding this to the top. The reason why I like doing putting this to the top is because I like doing huge Chaos Bolts. Unfortunately, it's not like as big as it used to be, but it's still pretty fun and satisfying seeing a huge Chaos Bolt every once in a while go to the target and just deleting people. So it does happen every once in a while. Or I've seen it happen 120, but unfortunately this tune is not 120 yet. But I'll get there eventually one day. But yeah, so that's the reason why I like Destruction. Affliction is going in the middle. Even though I like my Boomkin and they're kind of similar, Affliction and Boomkin a little bit, in a little bit of ways, I just don't really particularly care for much as Affliction as I do with my Boomkin. They don't have the mobility. I know Destruction doesn't have mobility in their top, but yeah, I just don't particularly care for Affliction that much. I would have probably put it bottom, but I don't hate the specs, so. And I only really put down specs I hate at the bottom, so. Yeah, Affliction is pretty much in the middle. I don't mind playing it, but it's not something I'm like super excited like my Druid, Mage, and Hunter to play. Anyways, moving on to the next class. Alright guys, up next is Shaman. I'm personally a fan of Enhancement. I like it a lot. I think the only reason why this is in the middle right now is because I'm kind of sad about the whole mana nerfs thing. It was a lot of fun to play after, like beforehand, but now after the mana nerfs, I've been having a little bit less fun with the Shaman lately. It's not been as fun, so I was going to put this originally at the top, but the mana nerfs have been kind of overkill in my opinion to me. That's just my opinion. People can disagree with me on that. That's your opinion. But that's the reason why this is in the middle right now. Everything else, for the most part, has been pretty fun. Elemental. I don't have any elemental gear, don't have the weapons, don't have the trinket, don't have the gear for it, so I don't play it in BFA. I could just go get stuff, but I'm honestly too lazy and just too lazy. But elemental hasn't really been the best spot, I feel like, in BFA anyways. So that's the reason why it's in the middle right now. Just because I don't hate the spec. I used to love it in Warlords and I played it often. Legion I played it pretty often, I guess, too, a little bit. But yeah, in BFA I have been rarely playing it just because I've been enjoying Enhancement a lot. But with the mana kill nerfs, it's been a little bit depressing for Enhancement now. But that's just my opinion. Don't play Restro, so I'm not going to add that to the list. Like I said, I've never been a healer person, so that's all there is to it. Let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, up next is Priest, and I like Discipline Priest, so I've been playing it a little bit lately. I didn't play it in Legion, and I barely played it at all. I played it a ton in Warlords, and some people suggested for me to try out Disc, and I've been enjoying it a lot, so I'm putting it in the middle. I like being able to heal myself and keep myself alive and do damage, because that's pretty much what Disc is. It's a DPS, a healer, and basically a tank. I know Disc is receiving huge nerfs soon, so they're probably going to go to pretty much non-existent, and everybody's going to roll Holy, because apparently Holy got 2 insane PvP talents, which may end up getting nerfed before they get live. But yeah, we'll have to see about that. I don't play Holy, so I'm not going to speak for that. Shadow is pretty fun. They're also getting major changes, I think, in 8.1 from what I've read. And we'll have to see how that plans out, but it's okay right now. So I'm not going to speak for Shadow right now until pretty much 8.1 changes. I think it's okay. It's not really... I don't hate the spec, but yeah, we'll have to see. I'm not going to speak too much for Shadow, but it is kind of fun to play right now. It's weird. It's a little bit of a weird spot. So moving on to the final class. Alright guys, up next, and also I just realized there was one more class I missed, so I'll get to that, is Warrior. I'm a fan of arms. I do like arms. The only reason why this is not top is because, like I said in my previous video, my previous ones, is I'm a solo player, and arms is not really meant for solo. It's meant to be with a pocket healer. It's pretty obvious. This is pretty much how arms is. They've got good damage and anything, but the survivability is trash. I'm not going to deny it. It's just not really that good. So you're always wanting to be with a pocket healer. That's really all the reason why there is for why I don't have it at top. Because it's just not designed for people like me who are solo pretty much all the time. And finally, Fury. Fury I like because it is kind of more designed for people like me. It's better for soloing. You can keep yourself alive with your healing. It's got pretty good damage for the most part now. And that's pretty much it. It's just better designed solo for me. So if I had to pick right now, I'd probably say Fury is my go-to now over arms, unless I'm queuing with people, which is very rare. So for the most part, I like Fury more probably right now, simply due to the fact that it's just more better for solo type of people. Anyways guys, let's go ahead and move on to the final class, for reals this time. Alright guys, up next is Rogue. This is the final class, and yes, we are now at Rogue, because I know what a lot of you are thinking, unless you're new to the channel. I do not like going up against rogues. I have to say this a lot. I don't like going up against them. I don't mind playing them, but I don't like going up against them. They make me want to freaking rip my socks off. But anyways, Assassin. I've always been an Assassin rogue. Anytime I play this tune, Assassin is pretty much my main spec for this tune. Yes, I know people really hate Assassin. They always play either Outlaw or Sub, but everybody's different. I just play Assassin. Always have been, always will be. So this is pretty much in the middle because I only really play this tune unless I get really, really pissed off and just want to destroy people on my rogue. That's pretty much all there is to it. That's the reason why it's in the middle. Outlaw rogue. I do like Outlaw. It is pretty fun. So, but like I said, I enjoy Assassination more. So when I get bored of Assassin, I tend to go play Outlaw. It's kind of fun, but yeah, I feel like it's a little bit like RNG type of thing, so that's why I don't really play it as much. Yeah, I think that covers up everything in the middle tier, guys. So with the final one, let's go ahead and talk about the tier of specs that I don't like at all. And the first one is actually on this class. I don't like Sub. 100%, I hate Sub. I've never liked it. I tried it once, and I told myself I'll never play this ever again. Like, it's not enjoyable. I don't know what it is about this spec that I don't like. I wish I could give you guys an answer, but there's just something about, like, if you don't like a spec, you don't like a spec. I know a lot of people are going to be chewing me out because I don't like Sub UT. If I could give you guys a reason why I don't like Sub, I would, but there's just something about this spec where I don't like it. I just refuse to play it. It's just not fun. And that's just my current opinion on Sub. I wish I could give you guys a better explanation, but I really don't have any that comes to mind. I know Sub has, even when Sub is always better than the other two specs, I just don't play it. It's just not fun. So that's it, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Alright guys, up next is Marksman. This is pretty much on the list of what I also don't like. I've never liked Marksman, never have, never will be. Even when it was one-shotting people in the pre-patch, I just refused to honestly play it. It was not that fun to me. There's just something about this spec I just don't particularly like. It's probably because I don't like not having a pet for the most part. I mean, you could run with the pet, but I don't think it's always been as good without, like, because Lone Wolf has always been, seems like it's been better. But that's just my opinion. And Legion was, in my opinion, a better time for Marksman anyways. BFA has been trash. I think everybody knows this at this point. They even don't have as much utility compared to BM or Survival. So that's just pretty much the main reason why I don't like Marksman. They suck, in my opinion. I mean, some people make it work. I mean, if you guys make it work, good for you guys. I'm glad you enjoy the spec. But for the most part, I just don't like Marksman. I'm just not a fan. I know people can make it work. It always depends on the player. But even if they were God mode and one-shot everything, which they did in the pre-patch, I still wouldn't play it. It's just not for me. So, that's pretty much it. That's my reasons why I don't like Marksman. So, just less utility, not as fun rotation. That's just it. And moving on to the next one. Alright guys, up next is the Pet Warlock spec. And I just don't really particularly care for this spec. I don't like it at all. It used to be a lot of fun to me in Wrath of the Lich King, but I just never have liked this this spec ever since then. It's just never really been for me. It's either always too weak. It's never really, I feel like, that good. It's got a lot of CC and stuff, but the damage I feel like has never been as good. Every time I go up against a lock that plays this spec, they never seem like a true threat. I mean, there's obviously always good players. I've seen a few YouTubers that have played it really, really good, like one or two of them. But it's so rare, and I feel like they got I feel like a higher skill cap in my opinion, which is good. But I'm just not a fan of this spec. People can disagree with me on what I've said about this, but it just doesn't feel right. So this is one of the specs I don't like with Sub and Marksman. And yeah, so let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, and the final one is Brewmaster. This is just a spec I've never liked. Ever since the Monk class has been announced, I've never liked Brewmaster. have zero plans to probably enjoy in the future. The reason why I don't understand the spec. It's super confusing to me. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I've looked up several guides on how to really do it. Don't particularly understand it. Just never really cared. And that's why the whole reason why I just played the student as Windwalker, because I'm not really a healer person, so that's out. Brewmaster, just don't really particularly understand it. Don't really care to. And yeah. So those are the 4 specs that I just honestly don't really care to play at all. We're pretty much refused to honestly really play it anymore. So for those that are wondering, it was Demo, Brewmaster, Sub, and Marksman. So it's only 4 specs, but yeah, those are just my opinion, guys. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you just hate my choices? Either way, everybody's different. I know some people hate Beast Mastery and love Marksman Hunter. Or actually hate Survival and BM and love Marksman. So everybody's different. I tried to keep it as brief as possible because I didn't want to ramble or anything. I don't like to go completely rambling for no reason. Let me know what you guys' thoughts. See you guys later. Okay, hold up. I realized I messed up and I forgot 2 specs. And I actually honestly can't believe I forgot this. But yeah, Arcane and Frost. These are actually also on the bottom. I can't stand Arcane. I am actually really getting sick of Arcane. Every time I've tried it the past few days has actually resulted in me in just logging off. I don't like the spec. It's not fun. It's like the Marksman Hunter for mages for me. Like, I can't stand Arcane, so that's the reason why this is on the bottom of the list. I can't even. Like, I hate it so much. I don't even have any reasons other than just saying that. So, Frost. I'm actually not sure where to put Frost. I don't hate the spec for Frost as much as I do with Arcane, so I guess I'll just leave Frost in the middle. That's really all there is to it. But I've always, like I said, been a Fire Mage person. Don't care for Arcane, hate it so much. Frost, I'll just leave in the middle because I don't care, regardless for Frost. Anyways, I know I forgot those 2 specs, so that's the reason why these are, I had to redo this. So, let me know what you guys' thoughts are. See you guys later.